the filter in this thing, they say you don't even have to replace for 5 years, which is insane. The Shark Never Change Air Purification Unit. There's a lot of pros and a few cons with this unit, so let's talk about them right now. Let's talk about the air filtration system of the Shark Never Change Air Purifier. It has 2 fin vents on the sides, one here and one here, and you can pull them out easily, and you can vacuum off heavier debris like cat hair, human hair, dust, particles, things like that come into contact with the unit very quickly, especially when you have it on a higher level of suction pulling things into the unit. That allows for longevity of the purification system because the main filter doesn't get attacked by heavier debris. Where other filters in the market don't have that, the main filter just takes a dump on you really quick. Within 4, 5, 6 months, you have to replace your entire filter. Whereas this Shark Never Change, because it's got the dual fin system and gathering that thicker debris faster, you don't have to worry about your main filter being clogged like it is on other units. It's a great setup. The internal filter is very easy to change. Let me shut this off. You lay the unit on the side, you rotate counterclockwise, it opens up, and internally you have your filter. The blue outer layer is for pet dander and allergens that are thicker and larger in size. Now inside that's gonna be a black charcoal filter. That's gonna be stopping a lot of pet odors, a lot of gases, some VOCs in your cooking areas, things like that. And then inside that white layer is the Nano Seal HEPA filter, which is going to block out all the smallest particulates, even smoke and a lot of other smells. So you have a 4-stage filter system in this unit, which is much better than most. You just slide it back in. If you have to replace this, very simple. Put the lid back on here, rotate it clockwise, and you are ready to rock and roll. Before we get into the display, I want to talk about the overall top portion of this unit. The air does blow pretty much straight up and out of the unit. It doesn't vortex, it doesn't spin around the room very well. Because sometimes volatile organic compounds or VOCs or problematic things in your place of living are further away from the unit, and it takes a while for them to get there. Where if you had a vortexing fan, that would push air and circulate air around the room more and bring it into the unit quicker, which would alert the auto sensing system to be able to turn on the unit higher or lower to help purify your air. Now auto mode is going to turn high or low depending upon how bad the air quality is in your place. If it's bad, it'll kick it all the way up to 4, really start filtering, and then lower itself down as the air gets better. Now right now it's on medium because we're at about 95% air quality, which means it's not ideal. Therefore, the Shark's like, hey, I'm gonna kick up the air just a little bit. Now you can always change this to higher or lower, and it'll automatically cut off the auto sensor. So you can go to 1. Very, very quiet. I'm not a fan that it dings every time you touch something, because if you have to change this around in a bedroom or in a place where people are sleeping or trying to be quiet, having a noise every time you touch a button is kind of a con. So that's another partial con. You can turn it all the way up to 4. That's the max level of sound. Now you also have a timer on here. You can turn it on, and you can see in the front you have 0 hours. You can go to 1 hour, 2. It goes all the way up to 12 hours. So you can have this thing run for 12 hours straight, and then it automatically shuts off, and it has Bluetooth capability, which is pretty rad. You can control this through your phone and tell it what to do and how to do it from a long distance away, and have your house purified before you come home from work or a trip, which is always a good thing. I recommend is leave it on auto mode though, let this thing go. That way if you're on a business trip or away from your home, it'll do what it needs to do to keep your house clean without you having to touch buttons. Now right here's your information button. This is always going to display something on the front. Now you can see it's PM10, PM 2.5, and then you have PM 10, so larger particulates, things of that nature, and it's all zeros. You want all zeros, it means you have better air, and then it shows your air cleanliness. This is the sticker that comes with the unit. You can scan that code. It gives you more information about the actual different features here. These are the 4 settings that show up on your information, and so if you see a large number in one of those, you can look it up and find out what particulates might be haunting your house or living space. That way you can look into it further. If your air quality goes to fair, it'll turn orange around here, and like it says, if it's poor, from 0 to 69% air quality, it'll go red. And when you have auto mode, it'll change the color and let you know from a distance, hey, I'm dealing with something bad. And you can come over and check out the sensors by hitting the information bar, and it'll let you know what you might have going on in your house. That way you can look into it. The light button here does exactly what you think. It dims the lights down both in the front and on top of the display. Hit it one more time and it shuts everything off, yet the sensor is still working and the fan is still going. It's just you don't have a lot of light. So if you have this in a room and you're trying to sleep, you don't have to worry about being kept up all night by a bright light, which is a good feature. This is a filter check, so you can hit this and it'll let you know the quality of your filter. It'll say, hey, 100% good to go. You don't have to worry about it, but it'll keep track of how good that filter is. I think it also tracks how many hours this has been running, and it'll let you know when you need to replace it. The filter in this thing, they say you don't even have to replace for 5 years, which is insane. That's 10 times longer than any other air purifier I've seen. That's why, hence, never change. Far side's a lock. You hold that down, and it locks out the unit. That way, no kids can come over and mess with your stuff, and it takes a person to come over and hold that down to unlock it, and now you can move your stuff around again. Last thing I want to talk about is this little spot right here. That houses what Shark is calling the odor neutralizer technology. It's pretty much a scent pod that you put right here, and you can turn it up or turn it down to release some scent in your house to keep the smells nice. I personally don't like artificial air fresheners and scent additives, so I don't put it on there, but you can. But this is the Shark Never Change Air Purifier. Go check it out. It's a great unit. I think it's sleek and sexy. It looks good in a room. Doesn't take up too much space. And I love the pre-filters. That's probably the best feature I've seen on an air purifier for a home in a long time. It makes your air purification system last so much longer and saves you a ton of money. Go check it out.